Hey guys, Taro here bringing you the Starter Series tutorial on the Tactical Map. The Tactical Map is essentially a jumbo-sized mini-map that you can open and close using the numpad 0 key. When inside the Tactical Map you can issue several different commands, such as retreat, moving and queuing up capping orders, reverse moving, and attack moving. However, you are unable to execute other commands, such as reinforcing or activating prioritized vehicles. You can move around the map using the Tactical Map by opening it, then double-clicking on the region you want to go to. Whilst this is slower than simply using the mini-map, it does have several advantages. You can select the region you are going to more precisely, reducing the chance you'll need to adjust the camera by scrolling once you get there. It also reduces the amount of movement you have to do with your mouse and keeps the cursor in a more central position, which can be very beneficial. Now let's cover a few more benefits of using the Tactical Map. The main benefit of using the Tactical Map is that you can tell almost exactly what is going on across the entire battlefield from just a quick look at one screen. Displayed is a screenshot of the Tactical Map in a potential game, and here's the screenshot of the minimap in the exact same scenario. So now let's put these two side by side and do a comparison. First, let's take a look at these squads on the bottom of the map. First off, you get to see the unit's icon rather than just a dot, so you know exactly what is down there. You get to see the squad's health and models remaining, important when making decisions like when to retreat, the type of cover the unit is in, obviously important for combat situations, and that the units are idle from the clock next to their icon. So maybe you need to give them a command of some sort to get them underway. Next up, we're going to have a look at these team weapons in the center of the map. Now in this case the minimap actually has an advantage over the Tactical Map, as you can see which direction the anti-tank gun and machine gun are facing. However, you are unable to distinguish the difference between these two units on the minimap, which is where once again the Tactical Map's unit icons come in handy. Next, we take a look back at base and we can see that there is a squad back there that needs reinforcements. Noticing when squads have completed their retreat and are ready for reinforcements and also completed reinforcing was probably the biggest improvement I saw in my game personally from using the Tactical Map. You can also see the construction progress bar above the engineer's icon, giving valuable information on how close to completion your tech structure is. Now let's talk about the engagement at the top of the map. I've already covered health, models and icons, so let's talk about combat status. You can tell that the unit is engaged in combat from the crosshair icon on the machine gun. Now you're probably thinking, well, this is not much use because I know when my units are engaged in combat, but that may not always be the case, so here's an example.
Comrades, can you lay some barbed wire? We will have it up.
Now you may have noticed some gunshot sounds activity on the minimap and on the top right. However, if there's already a lot going on, there's a very good chance you would have missed this brief interaction altogether. However, in the same scenario with the Tactical Map open,
Let's get going, comrades.
it is almost impossible not to notice it. On top of that, you know exactly what type of unit it is, how much health it's on, which is extremely important for your combat decision making. All of this information from an extremely brief appearance onto one of your unit's field of view. You also get to see the suppression status of units. On the minimap you get to see which direction the vehicles are facing, however it is very hard to distinguish the difference between a light, medium and heavy tank. This is where once again the unit icons on the Tactical Map come in handy. And a brief glimpse of scouting information using these icons is even more important for the potentially devastating vehicles. Now it is true that you can get a lot of this information from the upper right hand side of the regular game screen. However, it is more clear positionally and much harder to overlook or miss something when the Tactical Map is open. Several commander and unit abilities become much better with the use of the Tactical Map, such as the spy network for the Soviet partisan commander. In the bottom corner you can see what it looks like on the minimap. But when you open up the Tactical Map, wow, with abilities like these, who needs map hacks? The same applies to OKW's Elite Armor Commander's Signal Relay. To spot your enemy's vehicles, a good strategy is to find your US Forces opponent's ambulance and then target this with indirect fire, as it will likely be the spot of his forward retreat point. On some maps, such as Samoski Winter, strategic points are too close to each other, which makes giving capping orders on the minimap rather unreliable. However, when you open up the tactical map, this isn't an issue at all. Now I've covered most of the benefits of using the tactical map, so let's go over the drawbacks. Using the tactical map, you are unable to do the tasks that require the fine controls, such as entering buildings and taking cover. As I discussed earlier, there are a lot of commands that you are unable to do from the tactical map, such as reinforcements, so try not to get stuck in the trap of overusing the tactical map. It can also be hard to notice units garrisoned inside buildings, as they just have this small icon you can see in the centre of the map. On top of that, you can't see the health nor the number of models remaining inside the garrison, or the health of the building itself. This makes garrison units a bit of a blind spot for the tactical map, so be aware of this and try play around it. When using the tactical map, you are less likely to notice hazards on the map, such as the signs denoting there is a patch of S-mines. Thus you have a significantly higher chance of running into them, so be aware if your opponent is a known S-mine spammer. Also be aware of the radio silence ability in the Special Operations Commander for OKW. When activated, this stops enemy units from showing up on the tactical map, making it easier to overlook that you are being attacked and potentially resulting in lost units. So now that you're all keen to start using the tactical map, how do you do it? Now you're probably thinking, numpad 0, that's on the other side of the keyboard, there's no way I'm going to use that. Unfortunately, at the moment you are unable to change hotkeys in Company of Heroes 2, and while some players such as Lovenest and Shadowrider do use the numpad 0 key, there are other options. What I've done is assign one of the extra buttons on my gaming mouse to numpad 0. This makes accessing the tactical map extremely easy. You could also rebind the extra keys on a gaming keyboard. Alternatively, many players use the program Auto Hotkey to remap their Company of Heroes 2 hotkeys. Now how do you get into the habit of using the tactical map, I hear you asking? What I did when I was learning how to use the tactical map was at the beginning of the game, when there's not much going on, to spam orders on the tactical map, which I'll give you a bit of a demonstration of here. Note that I'm still doing the trick of moving closer to the edge of the capping circle for faster capping, but by spamming these orders during the start of the game you can help build up the habit, and by becoming a bit more aware during the match you can quickly become a tactical map master.
Time to work, comrades. Securing the objective. Capture it. Riflemen ready. We have more conscripts at our disposal. Soldier, move out.
That's it for this installment, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also support the continued production of these videos through my Patreon page, which would be greatly appreciated.